because of no Vince, we are going to say that Arwen, you're taking advantage of the still warm, I think. Let me check my calendar here and see what month we're actually in. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we are in the 7th month. Dismar. So we're near like the warmest time of the year.
Can we get that in relation to Grogfest time?
Yes, you can. You are 6 weeks away from Grogfest.
Oh shit. How long does it take to get to Stonehammershire, or whatever the name of the place is?
That's where Grogfest was last year. We don't know where Grogfest is going to be held this year.
It moves around. Uh-oh.
There is a holiday coming up, in a week and a half, and that's Dragon's Day, which is some type of holiday that we'll invent here. It's in my notes somewhere. It might be the day that the last dragon was killed. I think that's what it is. So yeah, Dragon's Day is coming up, which marks the anniversary of the last sighting of a live dragon. I guess we should find out where Grogfest is going to be. Now that you guys have been to a city, even when you were in Five Peaks, you would have been able to... you would have been able to find a poster for Grogfest.
Yeah, Elliot's brother, his kingship's gonna have to wait if Grogfest is underway.
Damn it.
Oh. So I rolled randomly on the map, and it turns out that Grogfest this year is going to be happening in Purell.
Oh.
Which is the sister city to Loofah, so less than half a day just on the other side of the mountains here.
Yeah, that was the place where the heist happened, right?
I don't think you guys have spent any significant time in Purell. You passed through there briefly and found a Faygate in the woods to go and fight the Croyster.
Right.
Which heist were you thinking about?
The one where the goblins with the elemental rod.
Right. That was a place called Heartland, which is also very close to here. So Heartland is about 3 days travel from Loofah and Purell. And Heartland is just above Topside, which is the Dwarven city. So you can get from Loofah to Topside very easily by barge in the underground rivers. Right, because they were smuggling goblins out. And anyway. Close, though. So many places, so many names.
Yeah.
So much time has elapsed. It's been over a year since you were in Heartland. The capital city of Anwar?
Yes.
You guys are, so that's 8. You're about 20 days travel to the capital.
It's really too bad Vince isn't here. It kind of came to me in a flash, a strategy for dealing with the ghost ship, but it kind of relies on Vince being here and being able to take 20. So we'll see.
Anyway, we're going to pick up exactly where we left off, but we're going to very quickly and easily fit Arwen in, because as I was saying, Arwen, you're taking advantage of the lovely summer evenings to explore Loofah with your pup on a leash, because he's still a little rowdy, especially in a city like this full of peoples and smells and other dogs and stray cats and rats and things like that. So you've taken, I forget the name of your wolf.
Amicus.
You'd never put him on a leash. Okay. I guess in that case you spend an awful lot of time. I don't know. How do you curb him? Do you grab the collar or?
So far I've just kind of been hollering at him.
Yeah, but we've been out in the woods where, like, you can chase him down easily. Here, there's going to be, like, apple carts and crap.
Well, she almost lost him in 5 Peaks, but she got a crit on her nature roll and
right
came back. So
I mean, if he runs away, he runs away.
Huh.
that's an interesting attitude.
I like him, but I don't want to put him on a leash. I think he'll stick around.
High DCs.
Yeah. So let's start with that. So go ahead and make a nature check. If you roll under 10, he's rowdy. If you roll under 6, he runs away.
Okay, 1 sec.
12. Excellent. So yeah, Amicus is, like a dog in a big city. He's like chasing rats. He's sniffing at things. He's licking strange puddles and stuff. He's just and with a roll of 12, you're working overtime. So what was going to be a lovely summer's evening stroll is spent 99% of your time being like, Amicus, no, come here, heel, come back here, stop that, quit sniffing that other dog's butt, right? But
That sounds about right.
he doesn't run away. Jack, if you have been talking about this, actually, I don't know. Never mind. But Arwen, through all this hecticness and stuff, you decide you gotta get away from some of the crowds, and you find yourself down on the docks, which is a little bit closer to the water. And Amicus very quickly locates a rogue fish fallen behind some crates, and he's like chewing on it and noshing it down, which is just giving him something to do where he's sitting still for a minute. And you're like, oh, fine, thank God, catch my breath. And you look around and you spot Elliot, Jack, and Murgatroyd just kind of standing down on a slip very near you, eyeballing a small sailing boat.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. We just a contact that we had in the city was just drug off to the north to fight in a war, and we don't think he's going to come back. So we're trying to figure out.
Dante's uncle, but you never met Dante. He's a bit of a loose cannon.
Yeah.
I've heard stories.
Yeah, so we're trying to figure out how to feel about that and where we should go next. And this ship over here looks very much like it belongs to the ghost ship crew. And my guess is it's here to pick up a potential passenger to go to the ghost ship, and I think that it's here because ran up the red flag, but I could be wrong.
So you're looking for a new contact?
Well, we've got contacts here. We're just it's kind of up in the air how we're gonna be able to interact with the ghost ship, because the king said we could just meet with them, but that feels kind of squiggly to me, like it might be a trap. So we're kind of exploring our options.
Is there any way to kind of scope out the ship before we go?
Well, it's got like a fleet of escort ships, right? It's got a bunch of interceptor vessels kind of patrolling around it. So scoping it out would require some, if we got out in the water, we could maybe telescope out and see what it looks like. We've seen it before, and we've seen some of the crew, and it's intimidating as all get out.
We should get that brass still thing that blasted out of the topside town into...
Well,
and make a submarine.
Yes, that would be awesome. What I've been thinking is, it fit like a couple of goblins. I don't know if it fit all of us. Anyways, I've been thinking we've got ways to get out there, and it's been attacking and pillaging merchant crafts. So, I mean, we could kind of stow away inside a merchant vessel, and when it gets intercepted by either one of the little guys or the big ship, then we spring our little Trojan horse plan. But, that's, we'd kind of then be surrounded in the water. So, I tempted to kind of stake this ship out to see if it's picking up somebody, if it ship to see where it goes and who gets on it.
This little ship.
Yeah, because it's the only one we can see. Because the big one isn't visible in the harbor, right, John?
That's true.
Yeah. But that's all I've got right now. If anybody else has any ideas, I'm all ears.
Well, lounging, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but lounging in the stern of this ship is a very rough-looking individual with its feet up on one of the benches there, kind of reclined with his back resting up against the tiller and its hat pulled down over its eyes. It appears to be sleeping.
Oh, I don't remember that. Maybe I'll approach.
Okay.
I'll walk quietly, but not trying to be stealthy. If he is actually asleep, my goal is to get to the boat without waking him up.
Make a perception check, please. Hard to tell. He could be asleep. He could just be sitting very still.
And I'm guessing he doesn't react to me approaching the boat?
Nope.
All right, I'll get up to the side of the boat and kind of just rest my foot on it, like it's not a weird place to stand for a spell and light up a smoke.
All right. As soon as you rest your foot on it, of course, the ship kind of rocks a little bit. And he with one finger, he tips his hat up and he looks at you. And that's it. He just kind of looks at you.
I'll nod.
He says,
even a Minotaur and elf in the background chatting away.
Yeah, he just kind of takes in that and he says, we don't take no fares.
We
don't take no fares.
Where don't you take fares to?
Nowheres. We don't take no fares nowheres.
That's a good rhyme. You from the and I'll kind of look back up to the red flag and say, I think you're waiting for me.
He says, I'm waiting for no one. I don't take no fares.
Is there any... I don't suppose the crew from the ghost ship had any identifiers when we saw them last time. Like when they were unloading, I don't suppose they all shared a tattoo or a similar uniform by way of like a bandana or anything.
Not really, no. They just seem to be, terrifying. And mostly they were orcs.
This guy's accent, it's not familiar to me at all. Nothing about his clothes are familiar at all.
His accent is a little bit Brechter.
Brechter?
Yeah, the Brechter. This,
the northern, right?
Yeah. This area here at the bottom of the Kraken, right?
I see. I say, well, if you don't take any fares anywhere, then you might have some information that I'd be after. And I'll kind of flip a coin around in my fingers.
He follows the coin back and forth, and he goes, scratches his cheek in contemplation. He says, maybe. What do you need to know, stranger?
I say, Leo.
Sure.
Okay. I'll ask, what do you... I'd say I've been away from Loofah. Silver.
Oh, lost you. All I heard was Loofah and Silver.
I'll say I've been away from Loofah for some time. What do you know about the city? And I'll flip him a silver that I'm flipping around.
He says, Loofah's good enough. It's a nice place to visit. I wouldn't want to live here, but I don't want to live anywhere. Arr.
This guy's like hands and teeth and skin and hair, I guess. Am I getting like, is he a piratey kind of sort? Does he look like a laborer?
He definitely looks like the piratey kind of sort. Rough hands, probably missing a digit. His teeth are definitely discolored. His skin is leathery and salt, damaged. He looks like a sailor. And as you're kind of talking, he reaches into the folds of his jacket and pulls out some papers and tobacco and begins rolling himself a smoke.
Okay. I'll pull out another coin, start flipping it, and say, "What about the water?" And I'll nod out to the harbor.
He says, "Oh, Loofah's been blessed by a natural harbor. It's fair and deep. You can draw larger ships in here for trade. But I don't suppose that's what you're asking about, is it?"
No.
He says, "Well," and he kind of looks at the silver piece and kind of shrugs.
I'll toss it to him and say, who should I ask if not you? And I'll pull out a gold this time.
He a little smile comes across his face there, and he kind of tugs at one of his earlobes, which has a large, heavy golden earring in it, as though he's thinking about something. His eyes shoot back and forth as though he's having a bit of a moral dilemma in his own head. He says, "Oh, no, you go ahead and ask me."
All right. So, and I'll nod up at the red flag and say, "That ship's been around for a while. Any idea what they're after?" And I'll toss him the gold.
He catches it in his hand and kind of turns it over, examining it. And you see, a bit of a look comes on his face as, this is one of the more peculiar coins that you guys have got maybe further north in one of the treasure holds up there. Is a heavier coin that is out of circulation for a while now. The Angarian coin, since the new king took over, maybe gone down a little size or different shape anyway. So he's like, But then he kind of looks at you with a little smile again and tosses you the coin back. And he says, "If your curiosities lie in that direction," and he indicates same as you towards the red flag. He says, "Perhaps it's best if you just picked a different port of call."
I'll start flipping the coin again and say, "Do you think it's too dangerous for my sort?"
He smiles and he says, "I don't expect there's much that's too dangerous for your sort." And he gestures kind of back at Murgatroyd and Jack standing there.
I laugh and nod over at them and say, "Well, honestly, we're just hoping to make a little money while we're here." And I'll flick them the gold and say, "Is there any profit to be had there?"
He says, I don't... Unless you're a seafaring man with trade to be had, then perhaps. Or if you were looking for safe passage in and about and around of these waters, there's a terrible to-do brewing in the north, and supposing you were looking to get to the Kraken right unmolested, then we might do some business.
Okay.
However, if you're looking for work, it's not really how he looks like he was about to name drop, but changed his mind at the last second, operates.
Okay. Then in that case, while he's still holding the gold, I'll pull out one of my gems that's worth about 50, and we're very skilled laborers. We're the kind that can get stuff done. And if
I can lift large crates.
If there was something that, a high-profile client was after, I would hope that we would be approached about it. Do you have any idea what that sort of work might be? and I'll flick him that gem.
He reaches up and catches the gem, but then like almost magically, like he caught in his hand, and then just kind of disappears as though he, magicked it up his sleeve without you even noticing, and then, proceeded to go back to scratch the scruff on his neck and his beard, and goes, "Oh, maybe be an adventuring sort that are more comfortable on terra firma. Is there a place that a fella might be able to find a fella, should a fella know someone who might need a fella's services?"
We're around. If you leave word at, and I'll give him the address of Dante's uncle.
Aye. Almost too quickly he nods, as though he knows the place.
Yeah, if you were to put a note through the mail slot, it'd get back to me real quick.
He says, very good, very good. He says, of course, not saying for sure that I am in any way, shape, or form affiliated with anyone or anything that could or might require services of adventurers like yourselves. But just in case I come across someone who might be, it's good to know.
I'll nod and say, well, you know where to find me.
Aye, that I do.
And I'll walk back to Jack and Murgatroyd.
So
what did you find out?
Yeah, he's definitely with the ghost ship, and not gonna say what they're necessarily after. My money's on that they've just got a sweet gig here, and as long as business is good, that ship's gonna stay here. Although I wouldn't mind hanging out for, maybe grab a drink somewhere close by so we can keep an eye on it in case he is actually waiting for somebody specific.
perhaps we should
Isn't
take...
the boat that Dante's uncle was taken on, right?
No, different boat. Just same spot.
Perhaps we should take shifts watching boat, 2 people at a time.
All right. I mean,
And-
I sorry, go ahead.
And meanwhile, rest of the group can continue asking about the city for maybe someone else has seen people go to and from boat or to ghost boat or know something about their business.
Yeah, I mean, the ideal situation for me is we find somebody that knows for sure that the royal advisor guy is in cahoots with the ghost ship.
Yeah, so if we keep 2 people watching boat while others go and get word on street, then if people watching boat see something, one can go and get rest of the group, and then we can all come back. But in the meantime, we have better chance of getting more information.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. I'd be, if John will let us, I'd say we should leave, like, Vince and or any other NPCs here to watch that.
Yes. But not Valhalla. He is...
Are you sure you want to leave Vince? He's apparently retarded.
Oh man, there's a great when Murgatroyd and Herpes were planning the attack. Herpes is saying, "Okay, so when I'm ready, I'm gonna jump in and you guys cause a distraction." And Murgatroyd says, "All right, just don't lie down and swing a torch around blindfolded, okay?" It was great. Oh,
it was
man.
good, yeah.
I laughed very hard. Anyways, yes, I'd be fine with leaving Vince.
Vince is not here. Vince is unconscious back up at the castle. I'll say that you can... Valhalla, you saw Valhalla in a pub nearby. You could probably try and grab him. or
Yeah, I'll get-
who else?
Do you have Hatim or anything?
Yeah.
It's probably more reliable.
Hatim.
Yeah, let's do Hatim.
All right, you're able to send a runner to back up to the palace, I guess, for a better word, and grab Hatim, wake him up, bring him down here, and he's like, "Oh, okay, guys,
That was bang on Hatim impression.
whatever you need." I guess Seth has a much deeper voice. Okay, guys, this is whatever you need.
Once he gets here, Jack would like to begin going to local religious orders and street preachers and the like, and talking about try to get information on ghost ship and people coming to from harbor and possible bribery.
Well, there's good news,
Corruption.
good news, bad news situation on that front. The bad news is that it's 2 a.m, so all the churches and everything are closed. But there's good news is that there's a manic, crazy street preacher guy down on the docks, kind of near one of the body or whorehouses, and he is ranting, especially about the ghost ship and about
Perfect.
the demons on board. And he's like, "Oh, buddy, I gotta
Fantastic.
tell you, the wrath of Valen's coming down on us, man. It's coming down on us all. And you look out there, and there's demons. There's demons that rose up. They've rose up from the depths of the ocean, and they're aboard that ship, the ship with the red sails, the mighty Leviathan that plagues us. It plagues us. Why? Why does it plague us? Because of sin. Because of the sin that we've perpetrated upon ourselves, upon our brothers and sisters here in this city. Oh, the sin. And it's brought demons. It's brought the demons up. Brought them right up from the bottom of the very dark black parts of the ocean.
Is any of this sin specifically corruption?
Jesus, there he is right now, walking among us, the beast with the mark on his forehead of the terrible pentagram of Azarai. Ooh, right, he's pointing at you, of course, Minotaur.
Not me? Awesome.
I look behind me in confusion.
He's like, "Look,
Where is the
behold,
beast?
brothers and sisters, a terrible beast, the mighty guardian of the labyrinth of the dark abodes themselves in the 6th level, and lo, he said unto them, behold, part beast and part
Family
man."
didn't live on the 6th level.
He just continues to rant and stuff. You're gonna have to physically interrupt him in some way, shape, or form. But he is causing people to kind of look in your direction, and most of them are sailors and revelers, and at this point they don't really care much. You see maybe a small knot of drunken laborers from a warehouse who are kind of starting to give you the look like, maybe we should go and fight this thing.
And verily shall he bellow forth the 10 sacred names of the Forbidden Dawn. That kind of guy, John?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm going to walk up to him and offer my hand in a handshake and be like, my name is Jack. I am priest of Raven Queen. Which church do you speak for?
All right. When you go to put out your hand to him, he shrinks back as though you're about to strike him and does a little holy symbol.
Yeah,
I'm going to keep
Jack
my
is
hand out there in the handshake position so that he realizes there's nothing there and I'm not going to strike him. It's just sitting there awkwardly. So he looks kind of rude if he doesn't shake it.
He doesn't care about being rude to you and proceeds to go on about how the beast has learned to speak in the tongues of men to further befuddle and confuse and tempt us. He says, "Do not lay down with the beast and shake its horny hands."
Yeah, Jack, this guy isn't about politeness. He's crazy. Let's try
Jack
and
is
get him.
used to crazy. I mean, Jack travels with the Kazam.
Low blow, Jack.
The preacher stops for a second and is like, "Wait, you know Valhalla Kazam?"
Yeah, we're looking to get for
He's
Valhalla to
struggling,
play a
buddy.
set on the ghost ship. What can you tell us about the boat? And
I
I'll
can
point
tell
out
you
to the
that
harbor.
is the music of the damned. Right, he starts to go off again and, turns out he's not actually a fan of Alakazam.
Damn.
Wait, you do not think about Alakazam? Oh, buddy, we have something in common. I'm going to grab him in a great big hug and not let him get away.
Okay, he definitely starts screaming, "Help! Help! The beast! The beast has put his hoary hands upon me and drawn me into his darkened breast." And at that point, I'm gonna say there's about 4 of these laborers. That kind of one of them roughly puts down his stein of beer and it slops over, and the other 3 push their seats back and come over towards you, and they're like, "Hey, look, monster buddy." They kind of don't really know how to address you, and then one of them just settles on adventurer.
I am Jack.
He says, "You better put him down."
I've already set him down gently. You know, hugs are quick.
All right, and then one of them turns to the crazy priest guy and just says, "Hey, mad father, or crazy street guy." He's probably well known on the docks, and he says, "We'll call him Father Ted." There you go. Look, Father Ted, tonight's not your night. Here, have one on us. And they, put some coins in his hands and shove him towards the bar. And to which point he says, "Oh, liquor is a creation of the devil, but I will partake." And so he disappears into the, the sacramental wine shall flow, but liquor shall not touch the lips of the holy man. And so then you're left facing these 4 kind of goons, who are in various states of unsteadiness, but the most together and clearly the leader, and intellectual captain of this crew, proceeds to shove Jack with the fingertips of one hand and says, "Look, you just better get out of here. We see lots of types here in Loofah, but we don't like all the types."
Oh, that is perfectly understandable. Although, if I may inquire, I'm looking for information, and Jack's kind of gonna gesture at Elliot, like, "Step in, I ain't got words."
The more drunken guy in the back, he spits out a bunch of like seed shells that he had in his mouth. He's like, "That's a big fucking dog."
Jack, we're not gonna get anything out of these guys. Hey, evening, gents. I'll step up. What boat you working on?
He kind of does a snorky kind of thing where like, and he spits a goober down on the sidewalk, and he says, "No, we don't work on any boat. We're shoremen here." And he kind of gestures up the street. "We work at a warehouse up there. What's it to you?" He kind of eyeballs you up and down. He's like, "You're an adventurer too, traveling with this type and those types." His head jerking over towards the dwarf and the elf over there.
Yeah, but got a respect for honest work like yourselves, and I'll nod at him. Haven't been to Loofah in some time. How's it been lately? And I'm assuming that the port is a little more empty than it was last time we were here. There's probably a bunch of empty spaces.
Yeah, there are.
I'll gesture to the empty spaces and say, "Seems like it's quieter than it was last we were here."
All right, he kind of eyeballs you up and down, and you can see his gaze kind of lingering on your fancy new belt buckle and things like that. Yeah. He says, "It's been dry here, real dry."
Any ideas why?
And he like makes a little cough. "Extra dry around these parts."
All right, I'll flick him a silver. Town's bleeding me dry.
All right, he says, "Yeah, and my buddies are dry too."
How many of them are there?
There's 4 of them.
Jack flips him a copper.
He doesn't even catch that. He just lets it fall right to the ground. But he kind of waves the barmaid over, and he says, "Bring us another pitcher, and these gentlemen here are paying."
I'll nod.
All right, the barmaid just kind of shrugs, like slightly apologetically at you, like she has to deal with these guys on the regular, so she knows all about them.
It's fine.
And she looks to you, especially Elliot, as she glances up at Jack, but then quickly looks elsewhere, avoids making eye contact as though she's scared of him. But she says, will you be joining them? Should I bring you a mug?
Jack will try to put her at ease.
How? In what way, Jack, will you do that?
Kind of posture myself in a non-threatening manner and a kind of smile on my face, but not a, toothy smile, just kind of a, kind smile.
That's so good. Okay, yeah, I can totally see what's going on in my mind. So she
Can I roll for this?
sounds frightening. Yes, please. What would you like to try and roll? Like just a charisma based roll here?
Yeah.
All right, roll charisma.
Can I use my mob mentality to no, it's not appropriate here. Oof.
Yeah, you try. You're trying to do a relaxed human type of smile, but smiling is not something naturally comes to cow or bovine features. So, Elliot, you kind of look over at Jack and you're like, Jack, what the fuck are you doing, man?
I'll give him a pat somewhere on him that I can reach and say, he's all right.
She kind of looks to you, Elliot, and she says, will he want a mug or a bowl?
Yeah. If he can have
please.
some, yeah.
Very well.
Bowl! Pull my friend up a trough.
All right, so she comes back with 3 more pitchers of ale and sets them down, and then puts steins out in front of the 4 sailors and you guys. They've pulled a couple tables together, and so you guys, the 6 of you, can sit down. I don't know what Murgatroyd and Arwen are doing. I assume they're kind of standing, on the other side of the road, just kind of watching. Oh, you're drinking too? So Murgatroyd, you just elbow up to the bar at a different place in the same tavern and just order some drinks?
Yeah, I'll just keep an eye on them, make sure they don't get all rowdy on Elliot.
And Arwen?
Same here. I'm just gonna get some ale.
Excellent. They don't want to let you bring the dog inside. They call it a dog, although they like the dog inside. But they find a place for you to sit kind of outside in like a little patio area where you can keep, I want to say Atreyu? No.
Atreyu? Amicus?
Amicus. I knew it was an A-sounding name. Amicus.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Okay, I ask them for a bowl of water as well.
The barmaid nods. You can see that she appreciates your choice in companions. She's also a dog person. All right. So after these guys have tossed back the mug full of ale and refilled from the pitchers and gestured to the waitress to come over and fill them up again, then they will turn to you, Elliot, and give you a signal like, go ahead and ask your questions.
What do you know about the,
Corruption.
Sorry, I had in my throat. The ship with are they black sails or red sails and it's a red flag?
Red sails.
The ship with the red sails. Do you know anything about it?
They say, yes, the Leviathan. They almost like spit the name.
Right.
It's been terrible bad for business. Most of the honest merchants are steering clear of us now, which is unfortunate because they're also steering clear of Anwire. So now all the trade is either going to Sun's Landing, if they have connections there, or traveling all the way up into the Krakenrite, which adds extra days and things like that. It's quite unfortunate for us. It seems like the Leviathan and its crew of nasties is more interested in working some type of protection scam. And they are unfortunately too well equipped for us to fight them off. We have, we've complained, and the guys who the Merchants Guild have complained many, many times to our new king, which he says with a bit of a sneer. But to no avail. They keep, we hear rumors and talks that a lot of the soldiers, the Anurian soldiers, have been sent north to deal with some kind of undead army at the Silewood, although the elves can take care of themselves for, as much as we're concerned. Plus, there's this trouble brewing along the northern border and all these refugees, and one guy's like, yeah, the damn refugees coming here and taking our jobs.
Dirt, dirt, dirt.
So they say, yeah, business is down and work is going cheaper to these Jurek refugees coming down from the north. The dwarves have, had a bit of a stall. We haven't seen a barge come out of topside in quite a while. Ever since they stopped their, he catches himself for a second as their trades.
Leviathan's a big ship. Can't be too much money for it to. Can't be totally worth their while to just stay docked in Loofah, can it?
This is, one of the other ones says, that's a fair point, and it's true. The Leviathan didn't always stay docked here. It used to travel around and leave port, but, it's been here for almost 2, maybe 3 months now, just steady sitting out there. I don't understand either. It's something keeping it here. It's some type of obligation, but I don't know.
Got an insight. Does he really not know? And do the guys around the table look like they're shifting uncomfortably?
Go ahead, make a check. Now they seem like what they're saying is legit. They don't know much. They know speculation, and the dock is a place where lots of people like this work. So rumor flies up and down the dock, and people hear from this and hear from that. So, you get the impression, and they continue to talk, and, they're all interrupting each other and speaking over each other and things like that. And the general impression you get is they're not sure why, but the Leviathan is sticking around for much longer than it used to, which is even harder on the local businesses, right? It used to be the Leviathan would come into dock and trade would slow down for a little bit, but then it would go away for several months, and, ships could come in and out unmolested. But this last trip, the Leviathan has come back, and it's come back with an entourage, and it's, they don't know what's going on, if it's setting up permanent shop out there or what. But
this is all stuff that we've put together already. So I'll try and command the table. It seems to me that someone wants to keep it here, and it's in someone with some sway. It's in their interest for the Leviathan to stay. So my guess is the Leviathan and someone of influence has brokered a deal to keep it here. Do you have any idea who that might be?
A bunch of blank stares and head shakes, and then they all kind of smile in unison as the waitress brings a big tray full of turkey legs and puts it down, and they all start tucking in, and she refills the pitchers and brings some nice bread and dipping gravy and things like that. And they're all silent for a minute while they're eating, but they just kind of shake their heads and they go, "No, I don't know. It's not really beneficial for anyone. No one's doing any business here. And Loofah is, by and large, a business town."
Do you know? All right. Well, who do you know that might have more information? Who's got their ear to the ground and maybe their nose a little bit dirty?
They bandy about a few things like that until, one of them is like, well, there's my cousin, Murray. And they're like, Murray doesn't know shit. Murray knows shit, man. Murray's been around. Murray's a waste of space. You shut up. You're just pissed off because he slept with your sister. No, you're right. Eventually they calm down a little bit, and they say, yeah, Murray is he's a little shady, and if there was any connection to any type of underworld, it would be Murray. And they're like, oh yeah, Murray's the one who was, he told us about the dwarves that were smuggling those goblins out from Topside. Yeah, that's right. Yes, Murray did know about that.
All right. However much this bar tab racks up, I'll pay it. And, what is it? Like 2 gold, 3 gold?
8 gold.
8 gold. Okay, I'll put down, there's 4 of them. I'll put down 12. Say, and ask where I can find Murray. And if they hear of anything, to let us know. Slide a note through the mail slot give them the address to the Whatsits and the waitress 3 gold for having to deal with these idiots all the time.
She smiles broadly at you, and she says, "Oh, thank you very much, sir." She says, "I always enjoy when adventurers come to town. You very generous. Thank you, thank you." I misread your post there. I switched the S's and the A.
Sausage?
I thought you said Jack will attempt to sausage the barmaid.
Gross.
Yeah, no.
Assuage.
Although he does have the beef.
Ugh. Gross.
You're able to get a little bit of a smile out of her, but she still can't look you in the eyes. You can tell she's still scared of you, as most of the people are. And much like everywhere else you go, Jack, as you guys are sitting there, maybe 3-4 tables over, you start to see people, putting their fingers up to their heads and making moo cow sounds, which then everybody at the table kind of laughs. And, you can just tell that you're being the butt of several jokes in and around this tavern.
All right. I think we've got everything we're going to get.
Yes. Perhaps I should go and relieve Hitim for the watch, and then go and get sleep for night.
Does Jack not sleep?
And Jack does sleep, but after you sleep, you can come back and relieve Jack.
Okay. But, we've also got, people who don't... Yeah, sure, whatever. I don't think anything else is going to happen tonight, but that makes sense. All right, we'll go get some shut-eye.
And Jack will go keep watch.
Okay, excellent. The last thing you guys hear as you kind of get up to leave is one of the rowdier tables at the back. It's like, oh, don't go. I got a saddle. We could take turns. There's lots of laughing going on. And you're once again reminded that...
humans are racist too?
Yeah, and especially that Jack really stands out. Even here in this town where there's lots of travelers from different parts of the world coming, that still there's some, racism and racial fear towards Minotaurs.
Right.
You don't fit in, Jack.
Jack kind of misses Silewood.
Ugh. Although I could wave around those.
Yeah, bust out the trident.
Jack does not want to be banned from yet another city for idiocy of someone else.
Why? That's only happened in 3,
2
4,
cities.
5, 6, 7 towns now.
You guys. I don't know if you saw on the Facebook, Crystal, but I found that little bit in the conversation where between us, where I said that Arwen will be responsible if the boys cause any trouble, and you said, I'm nervous about that because I'm pretty sure they're going to cause some trouble in the Sawwood.
I remember that conversation.
You called it. You called it. All right, so you get back to Hatim, who just kind of shrugs and he says nothing. Nobody's kind of talked to him. The guy's just sitting there sleeping. Oh, I forgot Hatim talks super low. Nothing. He was just kind of sitting there sleeping, and whatever you guys need.
What are the buildings like around this area?
Around
Is
this,
there is there anything are any of them like multi-storied or anything like that?
not right here. The tallest you're going to get is like 2 stories, and that's off of one of the nicer kind of taverns. Where the small sailing boat that the guy is resting in is docked is on an area of the harbor here where they have little slips where smaller boats can dock, and that's where more of like the pubs and the taverns and like long low buildings that seem to be mostly just shops and things like that. Nothing higher than 2 stories. Further along, where the larger ships dock, where they actually have cranes and stuff to pull things off, there's bigger warehouses that are much taller. But in this area, 2 stories is all you're going to get.
Is there a tavern that's like 2 stories with like that has rooms for the night that would overlook this little boat?
Yes.
This section of the harbor?
Yes, you stop into one of the nicer looking taverns that's here.
It may be a good idea for Jack to stay there in the room rather than outdoors where people can see and react to Jack.
Oh, you're very lucky on the rolls tonight, Jack. So yes, you do find a place that's close by, and they have very accepting management who is willing to rent a room to anyone that has the money.
Jack has money.
Perfect.
Jack will give money.
They're going to charge you 5 gold for the night,
Okay,
but it's a room that overlooks the harbor.
perfect.
Okay.
What, how busy is the water? Like, are there buoys and ships kind of moving around, or is it pretty dead for the most part?
At this time of the night, it's pretty dead. I'm going to say that there's one large ship that is busy being loaded right now. It's a heavy kind of cargo ship, and they're further up the dock. You can see there's a bunch of lights on and torches and lanterns lit, as well as some sun rods and things that have been cracked to provide illumination to load this ship in the dark. So it looks like they're making preparations so that they can leave at first light.
Can I go speak to, usually there's like a foreman or somebody that you can ask about buying passage on a boat like this?
Yeah, you're able to find that person with just relative ease. Ask maybe 2 or 3 people, and they're able to point you to the direction of the guy who is the guy. And he steps forward, and you can, he's a stocky gentleman, and you can hear the clink of coins from his coat. And he has a very heavy clipboard with lots of pages on it and a pencil. And he looks up to you and he says, "Yes, sir. You're looking for passage aboard our ship." He says, "We are currently heading south, brief stop in Sun's Landing, and then passage to Aduria, and then further south to the subcontinent."
Sure. A little bit nervous about booking passage. I've heard rumors that the Leviathan is sacking any ships that head out of this port.
He says, "Not to worry there, sir. That is not a concern for us.
Why not?
It's just, we are properly equipped to handle it."
I look at the ship. Are there like obviously cannons or
Nope.
anything?
There's no you don't even know what cannons are. You may have heard maybe mentioned
really?
at some point in time. No, cannons haven't been invented yet.
Oh, sorry.
No, there's not. Yeah, so it's okay.
Well, we've seen.
You saw
I guess we.
large iron tubes sticking out of the side of the Leviathan, and maybe at one point they cast a magic spell that looked a lot like Fireball.
Right. Gotcha. And we've seen like catapults and ballistas, but no cannons.
No.
Okay.
Black powder has not come to Cerelia.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll say. Well, I mean, I represent some high-profile clients. I feel like if word got out, your ship would become a target. How can you guarantee safe passage?
He says, preparations have been accounted for.
Yeah.
And that will be reflected in the price of your ticket.
Gotcha. So you do this trip a lot, and I'll.
He says, "Oh, yes, sir." He says, "Twice, 3 times a year, if we can get away with it, if the sailing's fair."
How has it gotten more expensive now that you're one of the few ships that frequent this port still?
He says, "This last trip in, yes, there was some additional fees that were unexpected."
Is that okay? Is that a problem for you? Is that something that you was it better in the old days?
He says, "Well, not better, not worse, just different. There was less cost, but more risk of piracy.
Right.
Now we are safe through the Straits of Arel until we pass the cape there of Aduria. Well, no, nothing to worry about."
I see. So, look, I'll just be honest. The clientele I represent, they were hoping to parlay with the insurance that you're brokering. Do you have any way of setting that up?
He kind of scratches his face with the end of his pencil as he's thinking about it. He's like, "Oh, we were always approached by them."
Right.
But just out of curiosity, this client you represent, who may be seeking transport, it's not Valhalla Kazam, is it? Only I've heard he's in town.
I'll kind of look the other way and cough and say, "Well, I certainly can't say."
This is core Valhalla Kazam. Will you?
But I will say that Valhalla Kazam is a very high-profile client who would certainly attract quite a bit of attention and would trust in any passage's discretion.
He says, "Well, if you were able to speak to Valhalla Kazam, you could let him know that our cabins are clean and spacious, and we could provide a reduced rate for someone who might perhaps provide us with a little entertainment while we sail."
Gotcha. And
Says, I'm a bit of a musician myself. I play the concertina.
what time do you when do you head out?
He says, "Oh, we'll be sailing at first light, but we've got a few rooms left, a few staterooms.
When will you be back?
Oh, we probably won't be back to Loofah in 5 months, depending on the turnaround and how quickly we get re-equipped once we get down south."
I'll nod and say, I'll get his name and say, hopefully we can do business together.
All right, his name's Carvel.
Cool. I'll give him Leo as a name.
All right, when you kind of step away, you hear him once again go like, "Oh, Kor, Valhalla Kazam."
Man, Leviathan's dealing with a lot of people. All right. Okay. That's it for me for tonight. I'll go meet up with Murgatroyd and Arwen, and Jack is doing his watch thing, so I'll go grab some sleep at Dante's uncle's place, I guess, and go relieve Jack. Anyone else got anything to do?
Search more of Dante's uncle's place. That's what I'm
Yeah.
looting.
And Arwen?
I'm pretty tired after chasing Amicus all day. I could use some shut-eye.
Yeah, Amicus yawns, a big doggy yawn too, which then turns into some coughs, and then it barfs up half of a fish, which then it starts to lick up off the floor.
Nice.
At least he cleans up after himself.
All right, so the three of you are winding your way back up the twisted streets that double back on themselves quite a bit. Not knowing all the little shortcuts and back alleys of Loofah yet, you stick to the main drag so as not to get too lost. Towards Dante's house, towards Dante's uncle's house, which when you get about a block away, Elliot, you realize you're being followed by someone who is an expert at following people and not being noticed. You're thinking that it's just a miracle, a chance, somebody opening one of the shutters on their house and the gleam of the moonlight catches on the window pane and reflects into a dark pool of shadow in an alleyway where you catch the glint off of someone's, belt buckle there. And you're like, oh, shit, that guy is following us.
Gotcha. I'll stop and kneel and tie my boot and say, hold up a second there, guys. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to try chance a glance around, but be as sneaky as possible to not reveal that I know this, and see if I can see anything about this person.
All right, so when you kneel down to tie your shoe, Amicus immediately takes the opportunity, with your face being in proximity to the ground, to leap up and start licking you in the face.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to get anything. That's fine. Whoever's following us can know that we're going to Dante's uncle's place.
Unless Arwen's going to attempt to control Amicus here.
Yeah, sure. Hey, Amicus, stop that. Stop it.
Nature check, please.
Put that down.
Amicus has twice eaten fish breath, too. But yes, Arwen, with a quick order and snapping of her fingers, or whatever training technique you're using to create the stimuli, Amicus, gets down off of Elliot, just kind of sits there, panting. And Elliot, you're able to turn wiping the dog slobber off your face with the sleeve of your coat into a spy over your shoulder, and you can see, there's the outline of a darker shape in the dark shadows. That there's definitely somebody there.
Size?
Medium size, human size.
Okay. All right. Head up to Dante's uncle's. Does he have like a patio we can kind of sit on?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a nice villa.
Oh, then 100% I'll sit on the patio, put my feet up, and survey. There's
even a brazier out here if you want to light it, but it's a nice warm summer evening. You don't need to.
Yeah, I'll just sit there and light up a cigarette.
Excellent. Murgatroyd and Arwen. When you get into the house, Arwen, Amicus immediately jumps up on one of the sofas and walks around in a circle 3 times and then lies down.
Are the owners particularly cranky about animals on their furniture?
Owner's dead.
This owner's been kidnapped.
We own it.
Oh, well, then I'm okay with that. Thank God you're finally laying down.
I'm gonna assume that the follower is not like boldly walking up to the front of the house.
No, he's not.
I'll call out and say, "Come on up."
All right, you call out and say, "Come on up," and then a voice about 3 feet behind you says, "Why don't you tell that peppermint dandy that the job will be finished when he pays the first installment?"
Oh. Nice. I say, I think I've got that for you. Do you want me to? Can I do an IQ to tell whether or not he's talking about Foink or not? Like, is there anything about Foink that would say peppermint dandy?
No, nothing.
Peppermint dandy. Who's he talking about? I I say, I think I've got that for you, but I've got so many first installments. Which why don't you help me remember who we're talking about here?
And he says, maybe you're not the man I should be seeing.
Oh no, I'm definitely the man you should be seeing.
So you have the 50K.
Oh, most assuredly. Let's talk about your client.
He says, you know who the client is if you have the 50K. Look, if he wants this job to move forward, he has to pay the first installment. Tell him we've been very patient.
Well, I'm here representing Foink's estate.
He
Money's
chuckles and he says, not Foink. He says, you were down at the wharf. You hung the flag.
Ooh, hung the flag, eh? Jeez, Peppermint Dandy. Is there anything about either my brother or the advisor that says Peppermint Dandy?
They both dress very fancily, and you really hope that it's your brother so that you can call him the Peppermint Dandy to his face sometime.
Okay. I'll say it's around. So,
He kind of sighs, and he says, you're going to give it to me now, or I'm going to go away. And this has been a waste of my time.
well, slow down. And I'm gonna try diplomacy here, and just see how much I can get out of him. Like, where are we at with your stage? Has the first, and be kind of vague with like, has the first stage been completed? Try my like businessy, my business swindler jargon.
Excellent. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Make a diplomacy check there.
And I'm going to add, and use my heroic resolve to push that to 20.
Okay, yeah, he says, we've gone as far as we can go without proper backing. So we need that first installment to go further.
Does anyone suspect anything?
He laughs, and he says, you hired the best. We'll get the job done, and no one will suspect.
Come on, it's a valid concern. There's a lot of moving parts here at play. I mean, the king. Ugh.
He kind of chuckles, and he says, the king won't be a problem.
Well, but it's only a matter of time before he suspects.
He laughs again, and he says, yeah, well, the king will be the first to know.
It's not like... Look, here's the thing. I can't remember the guy's name. The advisor guy.
Marks.
Oh, Marks, yeah. I mean, look. All right. So the thing is, there's some of the gold with Marks, and some of it's kicking around. How can I...
Look, I just need the 50,000 gold to proceed. If he wants this to go ahead, I need that money. He's got to make up his mind, because we've got other fish to hook.
How many of you are confirmed for it?
Enough.
Okay, look, I can get it to you by the end of the week. Does that look... Okay, so that's clearly like a longer timeline than he's...
Yeah, he says, look, we've been very patient. We were supposed to receive the first installment weeks ago.
Okay.
We all got really excited when we saw the flag. We thought that this was it, finally. But you're just stringing us along. Do you want the deal done or not?
The deal... Oh, man. Wasn't expecting this. Look, I think... Should I... If we're gonna make the exchange, can I run the flag up? If we push it... I'll do my damnedest to push it up, let's say, in 2 days. We'll run the flag up and meet here, or meet on the docks.
He says, 48 hours, right here. No need for the flag. I'll be here.
I'll nod and really try and scan this guy for any kind of anything that I might recognize. He's not like he's humanoid. He's not orcish or anything.
No, he's humanoid for sure. He looks like a rough, kind of roguish. Right, in some of your training when you were coming up and learning, say that when you were learning your knife fighting skills, right, you were training with a bunch of guys, and he looks like that type, right?
Right.
He looks like he knows his way around a blade. He probably even has a couple scars on his face and maybe a piece out of one of his ears. But he's, as far as like a rogue and pirate sailor type goes, he's clean. You can't smell a stink off of him or anything like that. He knows that there's lots of ways for people to be noticed. So this guy is like, he's savvy. He knows what he's doing in sneaking around the city. He doesn't have any clinking belts or zippers or buckles. Everything is cloth. Everything is concealed. It was just by sheer good luck on your part and bad luck on his that you were able to spot him in the first place.
Gotcha. Okay, great. I'll nod and say 48 hours.
He nods and goes to the balcony and then parkours his way off it.
And I'll dart inside.
All right. Murgatroyd is in the process of busting open a roll-top desk. And you see inside Murgatroyd, it's like a very, very fancy pen and ink set. And it's like in a very nice piece of gray marble, and you're like, "Ooh, that's a nice piece of marble," and an assortment of expensive inks and very nice quills, one made from peacock's feather and stuff like that.
Okay, Murgatroyd. So good news, great news, the best news. The Leviathan guys have been hired to assassinate the king. My money's on that it's the advisor guy who's hired them. Hopefully we can get that out of them because Leviathan representatives, at least one guy is coming here in 48 hours. And we can, if there's just one of them, we can probably take him and get the information out of him. But it sounds like it's not proceeding without our... Go ahead.
So you have to order your brother's assassination?
Exactly. We're paying for it. So they're gonna show up, but we're gonna take him. We probably could have taken him right there, but nobody was ready for it. That might have been smarter. But this way we can make some preparations. In my head, I was kind of imagining that he's gonna come back with like a force, but he'll probably just come and collect the money and then go. So we'll have to figure out some way to take him down.
We can't just give him the money and let him go.
Why would we do that?
I don't know. 2 birds, 1 stone.
But we don't want my brother to die.
Oh.
Do we know who he's working for?
Definitely the Leviathan. 100%. But we don't know the original client that ordered the murder. We do know that it's somebody that would even be able to amass 50K. So it's got to be somebody of serious portents.
Would we want to give him the money and follow him to see who he delivers it to? Because he's probably just a middle person.
Oh, definitely. But he'd deliver to the Leviathan, right? We're kind of intercepting we're intercepting the client's behalf.
Right.
So, the best thing for us is to figure out, we know that the job has been ordered, but it hasn't been paid for yet, so they're not going to act on it. So we can let my brother know that we can let the king... I gotta stop doing that. We can let the king know that his assassination has been ordered, but it hasn't happened yet. He can maybe try and figure out security,
Maybe he'll front us the money.
Oh. In order to, like, give it to them so that we can be, like, involved in the process?
Yeah.
But
And
ideally...
track them down.
But ideally, we figure out who it is before any money and any wheels start turning, I think, right?
Well, it doesn't really sound like he knows who hired him, or else why would he be going up to strangers demanding money?
Well, because there's definitely a lot of parties at play, and nobody wants to incriminate themselves, right? Like if the red flag going up was just a signal that the money's here, then it's definitely like, you know, whoever ordered it, my money's on the advisor. The advisor paid somebody to pay somebody to run up the red flag. The advisor then gave the money to somebody and paid them to pay somebody else to hand it over. That's how I'd do it.
Yeah, these criminal dealings just kind of baffle you, Arwen.
Right. I keep forgetting I'm talking to paladins. So
Jack, you yawn for a second, crack your neck, get up to stretch, and just take your eyes off the boat for just a second, which is all it takes for this shadowy figure to slip unnoticed from the cover of some crates. And the next time you look back, the ship is pulling away from the dock with the sailor in the stern working the tiller to pump it free from the jetty itself before setting the sails. And in the light breeze that is blowing in this lovely summer evening, it begins to slowly make its way out into the dark water.
What can I make out of them?
Not much. Because as soon as they start to go, they douse the red lantern. So it's just a dark shape moving, and there's dark shapes aboard. But you can make out that it's two humanoids, men, maybe elves. They're too tall to be dwarves, and they don't have horns to be tieflings. But apart from that, I don't know. They're not thick in the shoulders and neck enough to be orcs, unless they're scrawny orcs. They look like men.
Any distinguishing feature about their clothing? Like, does it seem like they're wearing a particular color? Are they wearing cloaks or hoods?
Black and dark brown. Only one of them is wearing a hat. That would be the sailor who was dozing in the back of the small boat. The other figure is not wearing any headgear.
Does carrying anything? And I can't see any, say, a glint of metal or something like that.
No, not really, from either one. Maybe the sailor, when you were staking him out before, you caught glimpses of a short... Oh, sorry, not really. Maybe the sailor, you caught glimpses, maybe, when you were staking out before, of a short cutlass at his hip. But when the other figure came back, no, not really.
Okay. By my estimation of how fast they're going and the wind that I can see on the water, how long is it going to take for them to get back to the boat?
It depends.
The big boat.
Depends how far out it's moored, but it probably won't take long. It won't take an hour.
Would it take me an hour to get back to the estate and back here again?
No. If you run, you could be at the estate in like 7 minutes. At the villa.
I think I'm going to go head to the villa. I'm not going to run, I'm going to jog though.
Okay.
Don't want to be too out of breath when I get there.
That's good. So you jogging through the streets just causes like some commotion, and people, pull their friends to the side. There's no children or anything in the streets at this time, but you do get a lot of, looks and jeers. But nobody actively tries to stop you. You get the feeling, though, that when you're running, when you're jogging, that if you had been running at full tilt, it might have caused a bit more of a commotion. As it is, you jog past some Loofah city guard that are just kind of standing on the corner underneath one of the lamps, sharing a smoke, and they look up at you as you jog past. They just kind of watch you as you make your way up that street and turn the corner. But had you been running at full tilt, you get the impression that they might have done something else. Tried to stop you at the very least.
Yep, ignoring them. I got more important places to be.
Excellent. So it takes you a little bit longer, maybe about 12 minutes, but you do reach the villa. Anyone with a passive perception higher than 16 hears Jack coming.
Right. Boat has left harbor. Someone got on boat. They were wearing dark colors, blacks and browns. I couldn't see if they had anything. All I know is it was not dwarf, probably not orc, definitely not halfling.
I'm definitely
not a tiefling.
gonna make sure that Jack doesn't say anything until he's inside.
Yes, Jack would be saying this inside.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. The figure that got on the boat, I'm 99% sure was the guy who came and talked to me. They're definitely with the Leviathan. Somebody has ordered the execution of the king. And he was there to collect the payment for the job.
Okay.
And it turns out we are drastically undercharging for the jobs that we do. Granted, we've never assassinated a king or anything.
That is probably a big difference.
Okay, so I think we get this information to the king as soon as possible.
Jack should rest briefly. I think they could be back in harbor within less than hour.
What makes you think they're going to come back?
Don't know, but that's how long it would take for them to get to boat and back.
Gotcha. They came for...
If we wish to keep watching.
Right. They came in response to the red flag going up. And I don't think that they're...
Did not know there was red flag.
Well, we talked about putting the red flag up. I think I told you that I was going to go do that. Anyways, they came in response to the red flag going up. I don't think they're going to come back until... Well, they're going to come back in 48 hours to meet with me. So unless the real client puts up the money... I should have given them a smaller window.
They may come back earlier in preparation for coming back.
I don't think that, like, the way they put it, they're not going to do anything else until they get the money. I think first and foremost, we got to let the king know that this is happening and that we're going to try and spring a trap. My current idea is that we wait for this guy to show up. We get Arwen and a couple of spots, kind of like, especially Arwen, maybe hidden in the upstairs with her bow to impede this guy's leaving. Figure out some way to get him, trap him, and get the information out of him who he's working for, but that's not proof, is it?
We could easily stop them leaving.
Right. How do we prove who ordered it?
We need that persuasive harp.
Yeah, but even like the guy saying, like, the advisor hired me or whoever hired me, that's not like, it's not going to hold up, right?
Because the advisor would say, "No, I didn't. Someone impersonate me." Or it's like, he said.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
But this doubtful advisor would have written anything down.
Yeah. In any case, well, I suppose we could ask the king or somebody about if there's huge amounts of money, like 50K at play in anybody. Like, if the advisor can't even access that amount of gold, then he's not worth investigating.
So we need idea as to who would have such money that would also benefit from King being gone.
Correct. Because right now we have motive from one. We have one suspect who has motive and not necessarily means. So now we need to find means, or make sure that that's a thing. John, the Glenheim, the trusted guard guy, I have, is that who the king said, like, we could let Glenheim know that we want to speak to the king alone and he would make that happen?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's wait till morning, I guess. Did I get the sense that we could just go and talk to him and we'd be able to get an audience with him in secret at any time of night? Or do we have to be, like, super discreet throughout the day?
But with your brother?
Yeah.
No. It's like, you know, he knows you're in town and he knows that there's doings afoot. So he said, he made it clear to you, if you find something, get a hold of Glenheim and he'll wake me. And
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, gonna go do that. Anybody that wants to come with me, please do. Murgatroyd, if you want to just keep ransacking the place, then that's awesome.
Yeah, I'll keep ransacking.
Jack should rest. Jack has been up all night.
I can go with you if someone wants to watch Amicus.
Mikas can sleep with Jack.
Perfect.
It's true. What's the worst he's going to do? Wreck this place? Murgatroyd's already doing a fine job.
Yes.
Okay, so, well, on the way out, whatever, we can deal with that later.
Beauty. You get back to the castle and find Glenheim, in the guard post. You're able to pull him aside and give him the high sign, and he tells you to go and wait by the old well. And
Sure.
Gives you directions on how to get there. There's like a bunch of gardens and stuff surrounding. This is a very nice kind of palace area, and you find your way back through some of the nicer and more well-kept gardens to a little more wild section at the back. Part of where back in the day the king had a walled-off kind of small forest where he used to hunt privately his own game and stuff here. And you find a very old-looking fountain by a pool. And you wait there, but not for long, before you see your brother appear in the darkness. His once very adept stealthful steps have long since become noisy with lack of practice. There was a time when the whole troop of yous could move around and skulk through the neighborhood without being noticed, but your brother has fallen out of practice in his stealth skills.
That's the dream right there. To not have to sneak.
Fair enough.
Okay, so we'll, look around. This area is walled off, so there's probably not people around, but still speak in hushed tones.
Yeah.
We've found that someone has indeed put a hit on you.
He's like, ooh. Well, I guess the old saying, it means I must be doing something right if someone wants to kill me.
Exactly. So, but it's the Leviathan that they've hired.
He goes a little bit still and a little pale at that, and he's like, oh, well, I guess I must be doing something really right if someone that serious wants to kill me.
Now, it's costing them a lot, though. The rep from the Leviathan that I talked to said it can't proceed any further than it has without 50,000 gold. Do you know, is anybody around that is going to be able to swing that kind of money?
He breathes out like, it's like 50,000. Jesus, he says, I don't know, some of the wealthier merchants, the big traders, but trade's been down. They'd have to be digging into their personal savings, things like that. He said, It's like, I'm going to level with you. Not even the crown's coffers are that inflated at this point. We're in dire straits, and we really need to sort this business out so that the cash flow can get going here. The kingdom really is in a tight spot. In fact, I'm not going to lie to you, brother. I've had my bug out bag packed for a little over 2 weeks now, and it's looking like any minute now might be the time to split. So, good to know. This could be an option.
Well, hang on, because you've got us, and we are not nothing. So, right now, my guess is that they said that they've been very patient, that they've been waiting, and when I met with them, they were excited, like this project has been dragged out. So, my guess is it's not like 50K is easy for somebody, but somebody with motive and even the idea of means, someone like your advisor, has hired the Leviathan to put this hit on.
He says, now that you mention it, Marx has been waiting for a caravan to come in over the mountains. He has people in Purell waiting, and sends word there every day to see if there is this caravan that he's been waiting for coming. Something to do with, some kind of deals through Heartland, but he can't go through Topside because we've pissed off the dwarves.
Okay, so we can do this, my guess is you want to do this nice, so we gotta figure out some way to get him on that. But,
Don't you guys find it kind of weird that it was 50,000 for, didn't he say like a first installment? So doesn't that mean there's more? That's an awful lot of money to pay for a hit.
Yeah, but it's...
I am the king.
Yeah, he's a high-profile client. There'd be a lot of things at play, and 50,000 probably covers a lot of bribe money to keep authorities quiet and to keep litigation down.
Your brother kind of smiles at you, and is like, yeah. Nice to see that your head's still in the game.
Yeah, well... To be honest, I was kind of nervous when you suggested that I go out and talk to the Leviathan. Seemed like a pretty brash decision.
Well, I figured if you couldn't talk them into going away, you could at least try and suss out what they're still here for. And if they're still here because they're waiting for an opportune moment to kill me,
yeah,
then, well, at least we know that.
Yeah.
He says,
There's
I can't even go away, right? There's a lot of plates spinning here, and if I try and take some type of vacation or even a diplomatic mission elsewhere to try and spread goodwill from Loofah, the Marx will use this opportunity to continue to needle at my opposition and dethrone me. He says, I can't even flee. I can't show weakness. I have to stay.
Okay, well, what do you think it would take to convict Marx that he's dealing with the Leviathan to have you killed? Some kind of evidence, right?
Yeah, he says if we can get someone of note to observe money changing hands between him and crew from the Leviathan, that would do it. Right? It can't be me. It can't be anyone on my staff. It has to be a neutral party. Right? He starts rhyming off a couple people as like this judge in particular, or this particular merchant, or this guy who is I guess some kind of high-ranking official in the town watch. But it would be the Anurian guard, not the Loofah city guard, because they're all paid by me. The Anurian guard here are paid by the capital city, right? So there are some people.
Right. So if this carriage does come in, and we could mark the money somehow, get it to so it would go to whoever is working for the advisor, and then it would go to whoever. I mean, like, I made an arrangement with the Leviathan rep to meet me in 48 hours. Okay. So if the gold comes, we could mark it, have it with me to hand off to the Leviathan rep, and someone witness that happening. Would that be enough?
Yeah, if we can prove that Marx is giving them money.
But then, like,
yeah,
I get even that would be enough, right? Like, if Marx gives the Leviathan $50,000, that's a lot, right?
Yeah, that would be enough. We could get him discredited at the very least, even if we can't prove what he's paying them the money for.
Right. And if the caravan doesn't come in that amount of time, I suppose we can just do the old Rod Stewart standard.
Okay.
Am I not ransacking stuff? Or
No, you probably are, but I think we can definitely talk strategy.
Multitask.
Yeah. I'd say at this point, Elliot and Arwen could probably visualize exactly what Murgatroyd would say in a discussion. And that's how we'll get around the metagaming of you talking to us. So, if we can't do this this proper police work tactic, I don't know. How do you envision us taking on the Leviathan? Because I had some ideas, but the best one I had involves Vince being able to take 20 on an Arcana check. But I don't know if he's up for that in this in his state. Because we got a while ago, we got this scroll called Phantom Steed. And if Vince takes 20 on it, then he'll be able to conjure 8 flying horses. So we could theoretically fly over the Leviathan's defenses, land on the boat, and get to slaying.
That sounds pretty sweet.
Now, these steeds are phantoms. Does that mean we can actually ride them?
Yeah, it's the information I got is
it's not just like an illusion, right?
Yeah, okay. So no, they're phantoms, so they're like ghost horses, but you can still ride them. They're large and can be ridden by anybody that you assign to the horses when you cast a spell. Now that said, we also have Valhalla's flying gear. We also have Valhalla's breathing underwater gear. So, I don't know if the Leviathan is anchored or moored, or even if it's anchored, you could climb up the anchor chain. Or if it's just afloat, then someone could swim under cover of the water and climb up the side of the Leviathan. Someone could fly with the floaty boots, and the rest of us could fly on the horses.
Could we not just rent a ship and look like another merchant and kind of sneak up on them?
Well, we wouldn't be able to sneak up on them. We would be ransacked by one of their escorts, right? If we were just like another merchant ship, we'd probably be sacked by those little schooners, and then we'd just be surrounded by their entourage and then the Leviathan from the outside. And apparently their ship has tons of ship-based weapons to guard against just such an attack. Now, we could do something like load up the ship with all the oil and dwarven alcohol we could, and then light it on fire, and hope that is like a distraction enough to, cause...
crash into their boat.
Exactly.
What if we have a boat and we have lots of supplies that they would want to raid, but we were hiding inside the supplies?
But that's what I'm saying, right? Even if we're sacked by them, we're not likely to be sacked by the Leviathan itself. we're probably going to get grabbed by one of the little guys. They'll start to unload it. We'll get spotted, and then we're in a big ship battle. Now, we could go that route, and I'd be totally down for a ship-to-ship fight. And the king said that we have he could wrangle up some storm mages and some fighters to help us out. But I don't know.
So do the little ships go to the Leviathan ship?
Yeah, I think they patrol around it, right? Like all the reports we've heard are that they are little interceptors that kind of flock around the big ship.
Is there any way for us to hijack one of the little ships?
We could try. I mean, if
with some underwater breathing.
Yeah, if we were sneaky enough, then potentially we could certainly try that. But I mean, the best we could hope for there is just to get up close to the Leviathan, and then, man, it'd be difficult, but it might be worth a shot.
The flying horse thing seems best, but if we can't do that, then I guess we'd have to try something else.
The trick there is going to be, because it's like a roll-based thing, right? So if you roll 0 to 10, you just get some regular horses. If you roll 10 to 20, you get horses that can ignore difficult terrain. If you roll 20 to 30, you get horses that can ride on water. And if you roll 40 or more, then you get flying horses. And with Vince's training in Arcana, he should be able to roll close to the high 30s, and then anybody who's trained in Arcana could give him a effective +2 theoretically, so we could maybe get to above 40. But I don't know if Vince is too coked up to be able to pull that off.
I have a couple bump points too I could use.
Yeah. That's definitely I think that's definitely our best bet for getting inside it, but that's probably a couple of Johnny questions there.
Once we're inside, aren't all the little boats just going to come and attack anyway?
But they're what are they going to do? Fire at the main ship that we're on board? I mean, sure, they'll pile off, but according to what we've heard, the Leviathan has cannons, right? We don't know what cannons are, but they have weapons that shoot out of the boat and can blow up other boats. So if we ride up there in a ship that's to attack the Leviathan, we're going to get bombarded by not only boarding parties, not only bows and arrows and spells, but also these giant flaming steel orbs. So it's what I'm trying to do is minimize the amount of ship-to-ship combat we have and just cut straight to fighting them on the deck.
I mean, with the Vince route, we only need a horse that can ride on water at a bare minimum.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? As long as those horses can gallop with speed across the water, then we still have at least one person who can fly, and we have one person who could theoretically breathe underwater. So maybe the best is a combination of all of them. We try and get a stealth party to ride on a merchant ship that's going to get sacked, and then have our water running horses and our flyer standing by to jump in when the game is afoot.
Sounds pretty solid.
It's going to be dicey no matter what, right? I think we're going to have to pull out all the stops. I don't know what gear you've got for combat. I have a potion that can add 1d8 damage to our to melee attacks for one encounter, but it's just one person, right? So I think either
I have a new diplomacy that can turn on fire.
Ah, that's right. So I'd say one of us get that buff. We distribute out enough health potions. Everybody wears all your magic weapons. and hope that we don't just get like one hit KO'd. Oh man, I was hoping Jack heard all that strategizing.
Jack just woke up.
We're gonna ride Ghost Horse over to the Leviathan.
We have a ghost horse?
We're gonna have several.
Can you swim, Jack?
Don't know. Hopefully ghost horse can swim.
Ghost horses shouldn't have to. We're talking strategy on how to, if we have to go to combat with the Leviathan.
Yes, how well armed does Leviathan seem?
Insanely well armed. Like they've got all of these little interceptor schooners. They've got apparently these things that shoot like flaming steel fireballs at people. I don't know, ballistas, catapults. So we found
It's a
this
small city.
Yeah. So we found this scroll a while ago that can conjure up 8 ghost horses, but you need we need Vince to kind of take all day on it, because it's like if you roll 0 to 10, you just get 8 horses. If you roll 10 to 20, you get horses that can ignore difficult terrain. If you roll 20 to 30, you get horses that can run on water. And if you roll 40 or more, then you get horses that can fly. So for me, ideally, we get Vince to take 20, and everybody help and whatever we can do to get these flying horses so that we can descend on the Leviathan itself. But if that's not an option, we can get at the very least horses for water, and stow away on like a merchant ship to get in close, do as much stealth as we can before the game is afoot, and then the water horses ride in. And also we have Valhalla, who has those flying boots. So someone can be flying, someone could breathe underwater, someone or multiple people could be stealth attack on this schooner, and the rest can be on horses. The king has also offered us some escorts. Yeah, like wizards in a attack boat. So we could do like a 5-pronged attack theoretically. No sweat, John. If you need more time, we're still talking.
She may be going, but she's crying, so she might call me. We'll see.
No sweat. I don't know how much of our talks you've heard.
None. I took my headphones off.
Okay. Well, if you need more time...
she's really balling. I better go check.
No sweat, guy. No sweat. Jack, do you have... it's going to be... this is going to be a really tough battle if we don't get one hit KO'd. Do you have any ideas?
I'm looking to see what I have for rituals and whatnot that might be able to help.
Yeah.
Do you have like a Tensor's floating disc?
The other thing is, there may be a way to follow this lead of this guy, right? If we can, like, if we want to wait till he comes back, we could get him in the house, or have Arwen waiting with her bow and at least slow him down enough to grab him and interrogate him. If we can somehow get it out of him, that he's working for the advisor or whoever, and figure out some way to prove that, whether it's by turning this guy or bribing him or intimidating him or whatever.
Well, he's going to willingly come into the house, right? Because he's going to come back and you're going to be like, I have your money, it's right in here, and then he's just going to come in, so we just need a trap for once he's inside.
Maybe he might, press and say, no, I'm not going in. But ideally, yes, he'll just come inside, and then we can have Murgatroyd and Jack waiting to hold him down, and we'll try some diplomacy and some money and figure it all out.
Interrogating.
Yeah. Yeah. Figure it out.
Jack has no rituals that could help with this.
Okay. But, Jack, you deal a lot of damage. So that'll be helpful enough.
Well, he's not going to be able to ride one of the horses, and he can't swim. Is he able to use the flying gear?
Why can I not ride horse?
Yeah, according to the spell, it can be ridden by anybody that you designate as a rider when you cast the spell.
Logistically, I don't see Jack riding a horse.
No,
Why
I
not?
hear you, but
Jack has ridden horses before.
Alright then.
It is always humorous sight, but Jack has ridden horses before.
Here's a silly question. Is Jack more like horse-like, or is... I don't know what I'm trying to ask here.
does he have cow legs?
Yeah,
No.
does he also have, like, people arms or anything like that?
Yeah, he's got
Jack has humanoid body, but head is cow.
I thought
You
you had
have a
hooves.
regular people body, but you have a cow head.
Basically.
You don't have hooves?
No.
Oh, I thought you had hooves.
I'm so confused. I need a picture of this. I just always assumed that you were, like, horse-shaped.
I tend to walk on toes, if that helps.
That could be why I thought you had hooves.
Not helpful.
That's totally how I picture Jack.
Oh, maybe Jack does have hooves. I don't know enough about minotaurs and D&D to say for certain.
Huh? Your call, man. You can have hooves, or you can have feet that wear big stompy boots, or delicate feet, whatever you like.
I was
We've,
picturing, like, horse, like, legs and stuff, but then you still had, like, a person body and person hands and stuff.
We've definitely talked about you having hooves before, but that may have been us, just shooting the shit.
Yeah, no, horse body and human upper half, that's a centaur. It's definitely more like a human body with just a bull's head.
But he's larger than normal, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's quite large, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Except Jack is not pierced.
You don't have a nose ring?
No.
Oh, that's classic Minotaur action.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that is.
how I always
that.
pictured you. With, like, big hooves, but, those are... And you have a tail, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? Jack has hooves
Cool.
for his feet, but not hands.
Yeah, and you've
Otherwise,
got,
it would be really hard to swing his axe.
like, a combination of cow legs and human legs so that you have that kind of bend back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack officially has hooves now.
Awesome.
They were always in flux until now. Whoever looked at his feet got really confused.
We would argue about it when you weren't in the room. Hey, does Jack have hooves? No, he's got feet.
I looked at them. It was hooves? Feet? I don't remember anymore. Was I going crazy? Schrodinger's hooves.
Firefox just crashed on me, so Roll20 is coming back online here.
So, John.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got a few kind of tentative plans.
So the king also says, hey, we could always just, kill Marks first.
No, that's not gonna. If people don't trust you, that's just gonna make things worse for you.
Like, oh yeah, good point. Good point.
The ideal situation for us is we either eliminate the Leviathan, incriminate Marks somehow, or both.
It's like, yeah, right.
So
Leviathan might have information on Marks on board.
Possibly. My guess is like they might, yeah. You know what? They probably have some insurance policies for, like, if Marx ever tried to take them down, they'd have incriminating evidence on him as a insurance policy. That might be worth exploring. Maybe when that guy comes back, we'd try that angle. Like, it's, say like the deal's off, Marx is playing you, gonna try and bring down the Leviathan.
See if they let slip insurance policy.
Yeah. But I mean, that guy, he's just gonna be a runner. I mean, he might know something, but... Okay, so, this is to my brother. Last time we talked, you said that
Lost you.
You in a fight with the Leviathan.
We lost most of what you said there.
This is to my brother. You said last time we talked you could assemble some fighters against the Leviathan.
Yes. Yeah, possibly. I could get you one ship, but, I don't know what kind of magic you'd have to work. However, if half the stories you've told me are true, and I know you, so probably half of the stories you've told me are not true, the Rod Stewarts have done some amazing stuff.
Yeah. No, okay, so, first off, you make sure that you are well protected. Surround yourself only with people you trust in case, for whatever reason, the hit has jumped up. But also, get the cadre get the ship and the fighters together. We have a plan to go on the offensive, but ideally that carriage is going to come in. We're going to be able to mark the money and get some evidence that that money is changing hands in favor of Marx and the Leviathan. But if that doesn't work out, then we're going to go on the offensive.
So, your brother asks you, so you need to know when that carriage arrives?
Yes. If you can, we're going to stay, in order to keep a discreet distance from you, we're going to stay at this place, at Foink's old place. If he knows Foink, great, doesn't really matter. We're going to stay at Foink's, get word to us, and we'll make the mark happen, or if you can swing away to mark it yourself, we'll work together on that.
Okay, yeah, we'll figure that out.
Okay, so yeah, have somebody on your crew, find the 50K that's coming out, figure out some way to mark it, or one of us will be around. Get word to us, we'll get there as soon as we can. Do your damnedest to make sure the money is marked. Oh wait, because right, we're not actually working for him, so we need a way to convince the... Oh, wait a minute. So the guy is coming in 48 hours. But if the money comes to Marx, then he's gonna raise the flag anyway. So all we have to do is tail Marx, and whoever his representative is will meet with the guy anyways. So we can remove ourselves from the equation unless the money doesn't come. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to get involved with the money at all. We just need to watch it change hands. But if the money doesn't come, then we meet with our guy, do some interrogating, see what we can find out. And if nothing works there, then we go on the offensive against the Leviathan.
Sounds like a plan.
So many things happening all at once to keep in mind.
Getting the money instead of us?
The money will just be received by, the carriage will come in. My guess is Marx will be watching it really intently with either himself, or does Marx have an aide?
Did you negotiate with your brother to get the money?
Sorry?
Had you negotiated with your brother to get the money?
That's what we're working on now.
Okay.
So, it's going to come in. Either Marx or Marx's aide will, make sure to get it or deposit it and then write like a note, and then we tail Marx's aide or Marx and follow him while he meets with the Leviathan's representative. Figure out, get some evidence of that. Oh, we may have to get this judge to follow us around. God damn it. Evidence is so hard when you don't have cameras.
Yep.
How did crime investigators do it?
They just arrested poor people.
Right. Well, glad to see that hasn't changed. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, as you think that thought in the back of your head, Elliot, you realize that if the king is assassinated and they can't figure out who did it, the most likely party that's going to get arrested for it is the adventurers who've been staying at the palace that have a minotaur in their mix.
Yeah. Okay, so all we need is a couple of witnesses to come with us that aren't adventurers.
Reliable witnesses.
So let's send the paladin, maybe the priest, to, someone from our party that's respectable to try and roust the judge or, religious, trusted people in the town to meet with us and witness this transaction.
Although Jack is priest and would look forward to speaking with local priests, Jack gets feeling Jack is not respected here.
Okay.
And would not be respected here. Less so than in other settlements.
Probably just Arwen then.
You want me to what now? Go talk to somebody?
Yeah, use your, respectable nature to figure out, talk to my brother mentioned a judge, someone that would be respected, like if they witnessed this money changing hands, right?
Yeah, I could do that.
Figure out getting them to come and hide in a spot with you or follow you around so that they could witness the transaction happening. And of course, none of this is going to matter if the carriage doesn't arrive. If the carriage doesn't arrive, then we're meeting with the guy. We're going to try and get information out of him. And then if that doesn't work, man, there's so many steps here. If that doesn't work, then we go on the offensive.
All right. Your brother says there are several people in town that you could check out, and he gives you a list of 10 names.
Okay. So essentially we've got 48 hours or whenever the caravan arrives.
Yep.
So let's go fast.
Okay, so do you want me to go by myself and check out those 10 people?
I'd say send Arwen to like a judge or somebody that would respect a paladin. I'll get dressed up nice and go to maybe like a lawyer or somebody that wouldn't be weirded out by an adventurer.
Okay.
Is that likely on the list of names, John, or does it look like it's mostly going to be a paladin's game?
I am formulating the list right now. I'm hitting
Sure.
the random name generator hard, and I'll get back to you in just a second with these names.
No worries. Man, I have no idea how we can communicate this. Like, we stalk this guy to where the meeting is going to happen. I mean, what's gonna have to happen is like, Marx gets the money, he runs up the red flag, and then we have to tail him and or his aide until he meets with the Leviathan crew. This is all assuming that the carriage comes in. If the carriage doesn't come in, then we have to wait for the guy to meet with him and then go on the Leviathan offensive. Oh my god.
Well, we can just take it one thing at a time, start off with this list of people, and if this doesn't fall through, we can move forward on option number 2 and so on.
Good thinking. I'll be right back.
All right. So yes, the names are. Are you all there? Someone said they had to go away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here.
Here.
The names are in order the judge. There's a paladin of Halin who's trusted. There's two merchants, one who is a very successful merchant and the other one who is just okay. But these two people, everyone on this list, your brother says, are neutral parties. They're not in allegiance to him, and it can't be traced back that they would be skewing in favor of him or skewing in favor of Marx. These people are all either lawful good and therefore uphold the rule of the kingdom, or they are neutral parties, and it doesn't matter who's in charge, they are going to be okay. Then there's two priests, one of Halin and one of the Bresai, who is the water, the god of water and stuff like that. There's a wealthy Eladrin who is just lives in this town. You guys did business with this Eladrin before. They had a shop here. I don't know if you remember, or it might have just been Valhalla who went to this Eladrin's shop. There's a captain.
That wasn't the one that Dante met with that was super shady, was it?
It might have been. There's like one big Eladrin here, and his family, he and she owns a shop, and they had some gnome slaves that I remember Valhalla interacting with these gnome slaves, whether Dante was with them or not. I'm not sure, but I do remember that there being an interaction between the gnomish slaves who were fans of Valhalla Kazam. There's a captain. There's a big ship in town right now, an Anurian. I don't want to say warship, but it's a ship that flies under the Anurian crown, and it probably has some soldiers who these are the people that you guys would be working with to go and attack the Leviathan. And there is a well-to-do widow who lives in town, who is a neutral party, and a doctor.
Okay.
Well, I guess I'll take the paladin
Yep.
and the other fellow.
I'd say definitely go for the paladin.
And the judge.
Yeah, ideally we're looking for somebody who can handle like skulking with you, who's going to be able to, go on a stakeout. So nobody not physically capable of doing that.
So what are we offering them for doing this? It seems like a lot of work to ask a stranger, hey, can you follow me around just to see this bad thing happen?
Well, we tell them the truth, right? Like, we're adventurers. You are a paladin. You uphold the laws of the land and the laws of your deity, and you know that this big bad ship that is very much against the law and very much against your deity is corrupted. It has this town and the capital in like a chokehold of crime and corruption, right? Like, they're destroying trade, they're ruining the economy here. You can say, like, you have a lead that you'll be able to bring this criminal family down, but you need their help, and you can offer them, 100, or you can offer them some gold, see how much they want for it, because we can pay, and when the crime is taken care of, I have a feeling the king will be able to give us some money.
Okay, sounds good.
So I'd say, like, everybody take one or two, and we'll, except someone should stay here at the palace to watch, or, no, I guess he can send word. So someone should stay at, Phoenix.
Already ransacking.
Okay, Murgatroyd, go to Phoenix. Yeah.
Who's watching Amicus?
Yeah, Murgatroyd can do that.
Yeah, if by watching you mean locking dog in a room.
And
Be nice to him. Your family loves dogs.
Jack, you want to go talk to the priests?
Yeah.
I'll,
there was both a priest of Halin and Bala something.
Brasai.
What's the difference?
Halen is like the largest, most popular, and influential church in all of Anwire, and
Jack's already familiar with it.
Yeah,
but
Bresai is more like the god of the sea, so sailors are more likely to worship Bresai.
That was Elliot doesn't care anything about gods and doesn't know the difference, right? That's like it's an Elliot character moment of like
Sure.
a priest is a priest is a priest, right?
Yeah.
And
they all pray for you.
Yeah, they sure do.
And they don't have much hope for you.
I'll go try the merchants and maybe the well-to-do widow.
Oh yeah.
And how do we Murgatroyd, you keep one of the bags of holding and you can pass us a note of like a meeting place that we will get from the king's aide. So the king will tell us that the money is here. I guess we can just watch for the red flag, right? So the king's aide will tell us if the money arrives. Then we watch for the red flag and stalk the...
Oops, it's not Bresai, it's Nessir. Nessir is the goddess of the sea. Bresai is a different god. My bad. Too many gods.
We need phones, right? We need like some way to find out where the if the...
Can I set up a tiny blue flag by the red flag?
Messenger pigeons.
Yeah, like, I guess we could also just watch for the boat, right? Because that little ship is going to come in if they see the red flag go up, and then we could just follow him theoretically, but he's going to be hard to track. It'd be much easier to track the aide. So somebody, when the red flag goes up, hightail it to the palace so they can stalk either Marks or the aide, whoever leaves the palace. Oh, and what if the guy is just coming into the palace to meet with Marks? I think, like, probably all of us just, like, have the person with us. God, this is so hard to coordinate.
We should have a plan that we don't split.
We don't split? That's
Split the party. That'd be
yeah.
Easiest to coordinate.
That's true. Okay, so if all of us stay at the palace,
Can we see the flag from here?
from in the palace?
Well, yeah, from around the palace.
Yeah, definitely.
Or a tower in the palace.
So, we could, if we see the red flag go up, then we just, I guess that's the thing, right? Is we need to see the deal happen. We don't know where the deal is going to happen, but the guy followed me really well from stringing up the red flag. So chances are they're going to know who did it. But maybe he was just following me because I talked to the guy. Okay. This is so hard. Okay. So we'll stay at the palace and just all of us, I guess, follow Marks as best we can.
He's a super villain.
Yeah, he's the advisor. The trick is, like, how do we not spoil this stealth trap?
I will wait far in a field.
Sorry, 1 second. I guess this was the advantage of us controlling where the meeting place happened, right? Like, if we... I guess all we have to do is, like, get the money and have some way of identifying that it's coming from... We could even just say that. So if we could accept the money and bring it to the meeting place, then we can avoid the whole red flag thing. So we can just wait for the 48 hours, intercept the money, go meet at Foinks, and do the handoff, and our witness will just see the money from Marks go to the Leviathan.
How is the witness going to know the money is from Marks?
Because you are. That's why they're going there, right? Oh, right, but there's no proof of that, and it'd have to be.
If we intercept money from Marks, someone could put something on money to identify it, and then they see the money being traded off, and they see said mark identifying money. They can then conclude this money came from that spot.
If it was like a, yeah, but like how do you?
But they have to be able to see both the marking and the trade-off.
Right. This is why we were doing the following of Marx's aid, so we could witness that happening. My guess is that with that amount of money, Marx wouldn't trust just anybody. So it would definitely be someone either himself, or someone in his like close cabinet. So somebody that would be identifiably traceable back to him. Because that's a huge amount of money, right? To just like give to someone.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that's a good plan. Is we trail. I guess we just have to follow the money, right? So once it arrives, we just follow it, and just be as sneaky as we can. I'm just worried about everyone else with their stealth checks.
I must have missed something. How do we know when/where this money is going to be arriving?
It's coming in on a carriage, hopefully, right? We don't know for sure that it's happening.
Right, because what if he just already has the money somewhere?
He doesn't. When we met with the king said Marx has been waiting for a massive, for like a carriage to come in, and every day.
Oh, okay.
So we have a good suspicion that that's the money that he's waiting for. And of course, all of this is moot if that doesn't come within 48 hours.
I think that's a good idea then to scope that out, wait for him, and then... Although, are we still going to go around and talk to people and try to get them to...
We have to, right? Because they're the witnesses. So we have to follow the money, watch it change hands from Marx or Marx's aide to the Leviathan, and get the witness to see that happening.
So we have to go get these witnesses before the money comes.
Exactly. So it's probably like 3 or 4 in the morning. So let's sleep for a couple hours, and then go out and get those witnesses, and hope that the money doesn't come in before then.
Okay.
Right. Your brother says, well, looks like we've got our work cut out for us. Let me know if there's anything you need. Just get a hold of, what was the guard's name again?
Glenn Holm. Glenn something.
Glenn, yeah, get a hold of Glenn, and he can pass the message along to me.
So this ship that you're getting together with the fighters to potentially take the Leviathan, they can't know that that's what we're doing, because word can't get to the Leviathan that we're doing that. So they can know that they're going to escort like a high-profile client, but they can't know that we're storming the Leviathan.
Okay.
Break. Let's go sleep, and then we'll get those witnesses.
All right. You all go back to the villa?
I definitely do.
Yeah, I'm going to go have a nap with Amicus.
Excellent. All right. You sack out at the villa. Oh, Jack's gone away. So we assume that Jack goes back to the villa with you guys.
I don't think Jack left. Didn't he stay there?
He said BRB.
No,
He's supposed to be sleeping with the wolf.
That's right. Yeah, he's still at the villa.
Yeah.
He didn't go to the garden. So you guys are actually, unfortunately, woken up just before first light by a very panicked banging on the front door of the villa.